Some of you might like to know a little bit more about our drummer.
Now going back to 40 years of Chick Webb.
Is drummer right? Is it okay to say drummer?
Pounding his pulsing beat into the hearts of all America.
You motherfuckers are fucking all over this joint.
You do your kind of drumming, and I'll do my kind of drumming.
I have no more time. You don't know what I love to do.
The only things I care about in this goddamn life are me and my drums and you.
The official explanation was he choked on vomit.
You suppose maybe I could put the drums in your place and sort of drop in once in a while?
Now back to Gene Krupa's syncopated style shortly.
Get up there behind those drums, lean back, close your eyes, get right in the groove there, give it a good steady beat.
I got blisters on my fingers!
I'd hit that.
I'm in Brooklyn with Liberty DeVitto. Liberty, thanks for having me over, man.
Anytime, man. Door's always open. 24 hours, but not in a row.
I like this place. He's got a really nice apartment, great collection of vinyl in front of me. How many would you guess are, how many single pieces we got there altogether?
I would say, well, there's more in the other room. We'll go in there later. You can check it out.
Okay.
I'd say it's probably at least 1,500 albums. You know, some. My wife is younger than I am. She's like 37 years old. So like, you'll find like Blue Cheer in there from me, and you know the Allman Brothers Idlewild South album. Right. But you'll also find Erasure, and you know ABC, and you know U2 is in there. So it's a lot of different stuff.
But music's always playing.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, you've been here, you were telling me you've been here about 2 years now.
Yeah.
We're here in Brooklyn. Now, I know you're from Brooklyn.
Well, I was born in Brooklyn.
Right, but you grew up on the island, right?
I grew up on the island. My father was a policeman, actually, in the neighborhood that we're in now. And I remember when I told him that I was moving to Brooklyn and told him the neighborhood I was in, he said, "Jones, don't move there, get out. I said, "Dad, it's different than when you were a cop." You know? So, yeah, we've been here for like 2 years now. Loving it. And yeah, I grew up on Long Island.
Where on Long Island were you?
Seaford, Long Island.
Seaford, okay, yeah.
You know where that's at?
Yeah, I may have been there once.
It's in between Wantagh and Massapequa.
Well, I know Massapequa. My brother went to school over there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right next door.
Yeah, I was in a band. Yeah, I know that. So, okay, so that's your whole deal. Have you always lived in New York?
No. For 8 years, I lived in Florida. When my kids were younger,
yeah,
we moved to Florida because to save tax money.
Yeah,
you know? There's no state tax there, and so we moved down there. And my kids kind of grew up down there, and then I got divorced, and my ex-wife was a great housekeeper. She kept the house, and so I moved back to New York. I met a woman from New York and moved back.
Were you bored of it there?
Oh yeah. Well, when 9/11 happened, that was when I said, I got to go back to New York. I just felt this pull to go back home, you know. It's like, you know, people were running away after 9/11, and you know, I felt like I want to go back to New York. And I always said, if I move back up there, I'm going to live in the city, not on Long Island.
Right.
So.
Were you thinking of making the move prior to that, though? Was it also?
Yes.
Yeah, it was itching at you?
Yeah, it was itching at me. 9/11 made me really want to come back, and then the divorce. And then
sealed the deal.
And then meeting the woman that's my wife now.
Right.
But that was... You know,
right. She's a New Yorker, I take it.
Oh, she's New York all the way. She grew up in Marine Park. So, Brooklyn, so...
Yeah. So, let me ask you this about living in Florida while we're there, though. What was the scene like? I mean, were you playing out in Florida? Or?
Well, you know, a lot of guys play at the club, not the clubs, the Universal and Disney and all that kind of crap. But I had a band. It was called the Funk Club. We had a lot of fun. I played, did that. We actually put out a little album, got some airplay on a jazz station because it was a funky jazz kind of band. Played with a guy. His name was Ricky Sylvia. He has a band called the Buzzcats, and they did everything from a Hendrix tune all the way to a Sinatra tune. They did everything. And he was an Elvis impersonator, too. So we would sometimes do an Elvis show, which was classic. And it was a lot of fun, you know. But I kind of became the celebrity pet down there, because I was still playing with Billy Joel.
Okay, this was...
Yeah, so, it was during the Billy Joel times.
Okay.
And so people were like, it was weird. It got weird. And it's a small town where we lived. It was called Winter Park. It was right, just north of Orlando. It's a beautiful town.
Did you ever get used to that, the celebrity thing, as you were saying? Did that ever really fit you?
Oh, well, I think it's just weird.
That's what I'm saying. Did you ever really get used to it, or did you always think this is just weird?
No, I always thought it was weird. Like I always, my ex-wives and people that are around me, sometimes they wonder why I become friends with there was one guy on Long Island I became friends with. He used to fix the alarm in my house when he came over, and he rode motorcycles, and he was filthy, and he had rotten teeth and everything like that. But I became friends with him. Guys, I talk to homeless guys on the street because I want to know what they're like. That whole celebrity thing is like, it's bullshit.
You need less musician friends and more just
less musician friends. I'll use this celebrity thing if I'm trying to get a good table at a restaurant.
But no, I get that sense about you. That didn't, because I was going to ask you if you get a lot of people who approach you and say, "Hey, man."
Well, it's weird. Like I just did this thing, Bonzo Bash.
Yeah, we're gonna get. Yeah, let's get to that. We're there.
Bonzo Bash, man, it was excellent.
All right, what song did you choose?
I did Misty Mountain Hop.
Now, that's great. Was that your first choice?
That was my first choice.
They got you. You got it.
Brian Tichy, the guy who ran the thing, he...
Did you know him?
No.
Did he call you out of the blue?
No. I actually got a call from Billy Amendola from Modern Drummer. And he said, okay, this is the deal. He's a friend of mine. I've known Billy for years. He said, you got to do this Bonzo Bash. Modern Drummer's involved. You got to do it. I said, what's it about? He said, well, it's Led Zeppelin. John Bonham, it's a tribute to him, and everybody plays the Led Zeppelin song. And I got to be honest with you, I wasn't a fan of Led Zeppelin. I love John Bonham's playing, but I can't get past Robert Plant's voice. It's like Rush. I can't get past Geddy's voice. You
want more Moby Dick, more instrumentals.
Well, I bought the first album because it was cool. They were on the back cover, the four of them. It was a nice picture. But then the next album, you see them, like a little clip of them playing live, and Robert Plant's wearing his sister's blouse, and his pants are down to his pubic hairs. It's like, get the fuck out. Yeah, I don't know if you can curse.
Doesn't fly in Brooklyn.
No. So I never really, I knew the songs, but I just like his voice. So I said, what am I going to do? And Billy picked 3 songs. Misty Mountain Hop was one of them, and I listened to the 3 songs, and I went, okay, Misty Mountain Hop, I know that one.
Yeah, you knew it.
Yeah. Because you know the songs, but you really don't know the songs.
Right.
Like I know Beatles songs inside and out.
Well, did you get to the point at least of being able to hear it and say, hey, that drummer's pretty good, or not even? Were you into Bonham or?
Oh, I was always into Bonham.
You were into Bonham.
I think he's a great drummer.
Okay.
Personally, I think he's an R&B drummer sitting behind a rock set.
Well, that's the deal, right?
Yeah.
That's what his
he's
background
solid.
was.
Every note counts that he plays.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. It's just the rest of the band. Robert Plant. I think
I have a friend who swears Robert Plant killed or ruined Led Zeppelin.
The lyrics are so jive. They're very sexist.
Squeeze my lemon.
Yeah. Too obvious, Robert. Come on.
Too obvious. I love it. So, but that's your background as well, right? The R&B thing.
Yeah. Listening to when I played with Mitch Ryder when I was 18, I got the call to go play with him, and I played with him for 6 months, and they showed me a lot of R&B stuff. The guys on the bus in the band, they would play records like Otis Redding, and they told me to go buy the meters. This is 1968, and they told me to go buy Kool and the Gang, and it was before Kool and the Gang was doing all their commercial stuff. There's a really funky album that they had out, and it was like the meters, but really intense. And then they got really commercial. So all that stuff, Wilson Pickett, all that.
Right.
And that's how I got into all that. And then I got into the blues, listening to that kind of stuff. Love it.
So that's where your head was always at?
Well, Beatles first. Of course.
First.
Beatles, Rascals,
Right,
You know,
Dino.
into Cream, Hendrix,
Right.
all that
Right.
kind of stuff.
But playing for this song.
Always.
Yeah, songs what came first.
Always.
Not a big chops guy.
No, not chops at all. Never took lessons.
You never took lessons?
No.
What about like rudiments? You ever get into that stuff?
If you open that drawer right there. What do you see in there? Just open that drawer. It's the sticks and a pad, right?
Sticks and a pad, folks.
Yeah. When I get bored, if the TV show sucks that I'm watching, I'll break it out and just start like trying rudiments on my lap.
And?
But I never use them on the drum set.
You never use them?
Never.
What is that at the beginning of Uptown Girl? Isn't there? I hear there's a flam in there, isn't there?
No, it just goes. That's all.
Oh, that's all. Okay, that's not.
And somebody said that it's me saying my name.
Really? Do it again. This is Liberty DeVitto. That was it. Interesting. Okay. So you
If I do a rudiment on a Billy Joel record, I don't know how I'm doing it.
That's not how you remember it? What's my name?
Yeah.
So you just come up with this stuff. This just comes out.
Yeah.
You're not thinking.
No.
Right.
No, if I think too much, it comes out bad. See, I feel like a drummer, when someone wants to learn how to play drums, the first 2, maybe 3 years should be listening and just playing along to records.
Yeah.
Because you're a groove more than notes. When you start to get into notes and you learn notes first, you get very stiff.
Yeah.
And you don't become like creative, you know. Especially I'm talking about in the rock field or the jazz field too. You know, you got to think outside the box. And if you're looking at the box all the time, it's tough.
Yeah. So charts, that never came up.
Never. Sometimes when The Stranger came out and we became like the guys, we were being hired by like Bob James and Dave Grusin and people like that.
Was this all via Phil Ramone?
Yeah. And I remember we did a session with Bob James, and he came in and he put charts in front of us. And Doug Stegmeyer, the bass player that was with me with Billy, he could read music. And I just looked at Doug and I go, what the hell am I going to do? He goes, just watch me. It's really simple. Just watch me. And that's what I did. And I made it through the song. You know, and that's what I always did. And I would listen to the guy play the song, and I would hear the changes. You know, you write verse, chorus, verse. You make shit up.
I love it. You're like anyone can do it.
Any idiot can do it.
Now, but The Stranger, was that the first? That was your first time in that kind of setting, in a studio setting like that, or
No.
Man, I know you'd recorded before, but
yeah,
at that level.
Well, yeah. Well, we did Turnstiles first.
Okay,
Billy.
right.
Turnstiles first with Billy. I actually made an album in 1968 with Richie Supa. It was called Supa's Jamboree. Richie Supa went on to write with Aerosmith, and he wrote Pink and Amazing and Chip Away at the Stone, songs like that with Aerosmith. I work with him now at Rockers in Recovery. But that was in '68. We did it in Studio One down in Atlanta, where Skinner used to record, 38 Special, all those bands, And
So that was your first experience.
That was a big time. Atlanta Rhythm Section plays on 2 of the songs on that album too. So we were kind of, that was learning how to play in the studio.
And back then, no click tracks, no.
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 When we got to The Stranger, Phil Ramone really taught us how to play, because we had been playing live. Turnstiles was recorded on Long Island. Billy produced it. So we did whatever we felt like doing. But Phil Ramone, when he came to see us play at Carnegie Hall, he saw the energy we had, and he just wanted to capture it. And, you think differently when you're making a record. So he taught us really how to play in the studio, too.
Yeah.
Make it simple and keep it straight ahead.
Quarter notes on the kick drum.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that, Phil. Or was it that kind of thing? Or
Well, there was one point where, the song My Life?
Yeah.
It's pretty straight ahead on the drum. I didn't want to play that.
What did you want to do?
And I told him, I don't want to play that disco shit. And he looked at me and goes, he threw something on the control board and he said, what have you been in this business now for 20 minutes? And you're going to tell me what you don't want to do? I went out and did it, and I'll show you the gold record when we go in there later.
Phil Ramone, that's a good producer.
He was great. He was the best. Called him Uncle Phil. He was another member of the band.
What did you learn from him? Tell us some things you learned from Phil Ramone.
I learned how to make a comfortable situation in the studio. You know, never press the musician too hard. Don't overplay the song to death. If you don't get it that first day, we'll come back to it tomorrow. You know, just stuff like that. Fun, make it fun. That's what he did all the time. You know, we would be talking about like there'd be a jar of peanut butter in there, and we start talking about like, you know, Skippy's good, but I like Jif better. Oh yeah, well what about you know, Reese's makes a peanut butter. Next thing you know, all the peanut butters are in there, and we're sampling them and stuff like that. And then we used to do pre-food takes and post-food takes. We would be doing a song, right? We'd order like Chinese food or something like that, or deli, because we did it in Manhattan. We recorded the albums, and we'd play the tracks, and then we'd be doing a take, and you could see the food coming in, you know, and you're hungry, right? And then after we ate, we'd go back and play it again to do another take, right? And it depended on the song. Like the ballads were better after food, but the high energy stuff was better before the food.
A little hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know.
So did you stick to this pattern? If it was a ballad, you
all
say,
the time.
let's have a nice meal first, bring out the red, bring out the white, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty silly. He was very, it was a lot of fun with Phil. We did one studio we went to. We had to get out of A&R because they were knocking the building down to build something else. We went into a studio, and we were in the room, the studio, and Phil was in the control room, but there was a door that you had to enter behind Phil. So when we were doing a take, and the door would open, a bright light would come in. So Phil would get so mad. He goes, you gotta give me something out there, some kind of signal that I can turn on that somebody knows that we're recording. So I don't care if you give me a Madonna that lights up. I don't care. Next day we walked in, there was this giant Madonna that he hit
the lawn ornament, yeah.
Yes, he hit the switch, it would light up, that means we were recording.
Beautiful. Yeah. I love that. That's nice.
Yeah. It was funny. We were eating pizza once in the studio, and he's got a new shirt on. We're in the studio, he's eating pizza, and a little sauce gets on there, he takes the napkin, wipes it off, another bite, and sauce again. It happens 3 times, right? Finally, he looks at the slice of pizza and he goes, you want the shirt? Here, take the shirt. He just slams it right on us. He's a great guy. He's missed, greatly missed.
When's the last time you saw him?
Well, I think when I played the Grammys when Billy won for, he didn't win. He was up for River of Dreams. And we played the Grammys, and me and Phil were like really upset about it because, you know, I didn't really play on that song, and Phil didn't produce it. And we just looked at each other, and I said, River of Dreams is up for Record of the Year. And Phil said, didn't we make that record already? But then I know he was looking for me at the NAMM show the last couple of years when he was out there.
Right.
But I never, you know, he was gone by the time I got there. So.
In the studio, was he? He knew what he wanted across the board? In other words, even down to the drums. Did he tell you you're going to use these drums, or did he say just bring in your stuff and?
No. When we played Carnegie Hall and he came to see us, you know what happened was first Billy was looking for a new producer because this was going to be his last shot on Columbia Records because he had already had Piano Man, Street Life, and Turnstiles were out. So budget-wise,
this was the last chance.
This was it.
Yeah.
So he had to get a great somebody to help him, you know. So he called in George Martin first.
Okay.
Beatles, right?
Yeah.
George Martin coming to see us play. Great. We're talking to Billy, like, this is going to be so huge, man. The Beatles, the guy's going to produce us now. It's going to be fantastic. He's so great at what he does. Comes, hears us play, meets with Billy after the thing, says, I love you, I want to produce you. but I want to use other guys. I don't want to use your band. Billy says, love me, love my band, and turns him down. Comes back, tells us, George Martin doesn't want to use you guys. We're like, oh, fuck him, he sucks. What has he done since the Beatles anyway? How things can change that fast.
I love it.
You know? So then Phil Ramone came, and he came to Carnegie Hall to hear us play. And he heard, were doing by then, we were doing Scenes from an Italian Restaurant and Just the Way You Are in the show.
Okay.
He heard Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, and that is pretty much exactly what it's like on the record. He knew when to not mess with something that was really good.
Yeah.
Just the Way You Are, he totally changed it around. He knew that was going to be the smash. He knew it. I mean, we came up with that kind of samba kind of beat that's on there, you know, because on a song called James on Turnstiles, I use a brush, but I just come down on the, you know, like a reggae bass drum. And Phil came up with that little thump in the middle. You know, I could see him through the control room going like this to me, you know. Which is cool. And then the whole thing turned around, too, when we did Only the Good Die Young. You know, it went from a reggae song into, like, this big swing with brushes.
Was that you? Did you bring that feel?
Well, Billy says yeah. Billy says yeah,
Okay.
It was me.
Okay.
But what I kind of remember is Paul Simon coming in the studio, and I looking at the glass, and I see Phil and Paul talking, and Paul's doing this with the strum, you know? Like thinking like, it should be lighter. The music should be light because the lyrics are so heavy. You know, it's about getting laid for the first time.
Yeah,
if you're going to do it, I want to be the one that does it, you know? And Paul said, you know, if the music is really lighthearted, the lyrics will go right over everybody's head.
Yeah.
And he was right. You know?
So that's all you were doing, was just trying to lighten it up and
lighten it up.
Have that
And then I came
skipping
up with the brushes. That beginning lick that I do is a rip-off of Up From the Skies on the Jimi Hendrix album. It's almost the same thing. Just wanna talk to you.
I love it.
Yeah. Because I have brushes in my hand now. It's like, woo, I can do this. You know? And it kind of swings like Up From the Skies, you know?
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, we can go through the whole list of the Billy Joel albums. I'll tell you exactly where everything came from.
But I remember, I've seen stuff where from back then you used a lot of concert toms.
Yeah.
Now, is that something that you learned? Was that a studio trick? Is that a live? I mean, what did you use those studio and live? Tell us about that.
When I had auditioned for Billy, and I went in there, and the drums that I had at the time was an old set of Ludwig. The bass drum was Silver Sparkle, and the toms were Burgundy Sparkle.
Okay.
You know?
And that was not cool back then?
Wow. It was cool from where I was coming from, but where I was going, it wasn't cool. So we get the audition done, and I get the gig, and Billy says, well, what do you need? He thinks he's acting like Elvis Presley now. And I said, well, I could use a new set of drums. And at the time, Pearl had just come out with the fiberglass, you know, thin fiberglass drums with the concert toms. And I remember once seeing Gad with them. And I said, yeah, I could use a new set of drums. So we went to the store, and he lays down his American Express card and gets this new set of Pearl drums. He got so reamed out because he didn't have the money to spend that.
Record company money.
Well, yeah. And, you know, like on Piano Man, which was the biggest hit that he had, he only made about $8,000 on that album because, you know, so many bad contracts that he signed. So he didn't really have any money yet. And he's spending it like he's Elvis.
But you get a nice kit out of it.
Really nice kit.
So you use that on the records as well?
Well, that's on The Stranger.
Okay.
That's on The Stranger. And Turnstiles and The Stranger. And I think by the time we did 52nd Street, I was already with Tama.
Yeah, I saw that video. I think that's what it was. It was Tom at concert.
Yeah.
So you stuck with concert toms for a while, though.
Yeah, all the way to the end with Billy. But I went from 4 toms in front to 3. Got it down to 3, and then one time I had 2 toms, and the 2 little ones over on the other side of that was during the Stuart Copeland times.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Even you got bitten by the bug.
Yes, you had to shit over your hi-hat and stuff. It happens.
I just loved it. You were trying to bring some more Stewart to your game.
Yeah. It's like, well, he's the hip guy now, man. Let's stay. You got to stay ahead of things, Stay on top of shit.
But did you use concert toms in the studio then all those years?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you ever?
Except when we got up to the Bridge album. No, wait. On Innocent Man, I didn't.
You did not.
No, and we went back to like a little basic set then.
Okay, but that's got to be a huge part of your sound. I mean, of course, you being the main ingredient, but right? Am I right or am I wrong? If concert toms feature prominently on most of the stuff.
Well, I guess on the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
On A Stranger 52nd Street. Yeah.
Because it's a very unique.
Glass Houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we did the live album. Then what came next? Oh, I know when they got the Nylon Curtain. We started to lose the higher toms. Because we were like that album was actually a tip of the hat like to the Beatles. So we went back to like a basic drum set, 2 toms,
right,
two floors, which was nice.
At the peak of things, how much touring were you doing a year?
Well, the bigger the band gets, the less they play, because now you don't have to play like a week in a club. When we first started, when Turnstiles was out, I think we did multiples at the Bottom Line. Then we went to Carnegie Hall 2 nights. Then we went to Madison Square Garden. Then Giant Stadium, So the bigger the place got, the less you play, because you fill more people and hit them all at once.
Right.
So in the beginning at Turnstiles, we were touring for 18 months. Maybe we'd come home for a week or a couple of days and then go back out again. And towards the end, we were only touring like for 10 weeks a year.
Right.
Yeah. Then that was with Elton John too,
Sure. But did you like that at that point? Was that fine with you?
Yeah, it was good.
Why go out so much?
There was too much downtime though.
Yeah.
Too much downtime. I mean, you got a lot of downtime, you get bored,
Yeah, that's that.
You start looking at the itinerary for restaurants instead of what gigs you're doing.
Yeah. I remember reading some quote from you about, I think it was that Elton John tour, like the idea of the guy in the front row paying more for his ticket than you were getting for. Is that?
Oh, that was. We were talking about the Millennium concert when with Billy we played the year 2000.
Okay.
And it turned out that the amount that he paid the band, probably maybe the first 2 rows paid for the whole entire band that was up there. And some of my friends that played gigs on that New Year's Eve made more than we did that night. Yeah.
But was this congruent with his previous ways, or was he? Did things change?
Billy, in the beginning, it was great, because it was Love Me, Love My Band. We were a gang, we're going out, we're going to do all this stuff. It's when, you bring different accountants in and lawyers, and they constantly tell someone, your name is on the marquee, not theirs. You could do it without them, And he believed it.
So does that mean that you took, I mean, they were given pay cuts and things like that, or it didn't exactly go down, it just sort of didn't?
Well, there was a point where he got ripped off by his manager.
Yeah.
Well, that was when he came up to us and said, I want everything back. At the time we were getting like these bonuses every time the album sold a certain amount of copies. We'd get a bonus.
He wanted you to give up those
bonuses and stuff like that, and then we were getting a percentage of the gross when we toured, and then when we went on a salary. We went on a salary right before we went into stadiums.
Really?
Yeah. And I say, we were getting a percentage of the gross in arenas, and then that's when he got screwed, and then he said, I want everything back, and we went on a salary and then went into stadiums.
Wow.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
Shit happens. And that was the whole band was treated that way?
Me, I was probably treated the best. Really? He knew what he had.
Yeah.
It's just that other people that didn't ride in the rent-a-cars with him that he eventually got later on didn't know, you know. After a while, I was the only one that had contact to the albums, you know. And then you get these other people. Then he does his play, moving out on Broadway, and the next thing you know, he's got these guys. How much does he make on Broadway? Right? They're playing all the songs. He's not creating anything new. He doesn't need anybody to make anything up. So he's got other guys to play it for a whole lot less. And that's what happens. But I feel fortunate that it happened. I think I play better now because you get caught in a rut. You know, I was in the Billy Joel rut. You know, like Ringo says, when the Beatles were touring all the time, they became really terrible musicians because they were playing the same stuff over and over again. They couldn't hear it themselves, you know. But now, I play with so many different people. Got to stay on top of things.
Yeah.
Maybe learn a few rudiments.
So there was no discussion, though, by the way, between straight up. Was it all done through lawyers and managements?
Oh, I found out that I wasn't playing with Billy anymore when he got married to Kate, I guess her name was. And me and a couple of guys in the band were discussing, you know, I wonder if we'll be invited to the wedding. So nothing was happening, and I called up the keyboard player, and I said, well, I guess we're not invited to the wedding. And the keyboard player said, well, I got my invitation. So I knew then something's going on when I wasn't invited to the wedding. And then in the business, you're never really fired. You're just not asked to do the next tour. You know what it's like. So that's what kind of happened. That it just, and he took that whole moving out band with him instead.
There's never closure.
No,
yeah.
But I did get closure because I did end up suing him, you know, for internet monies and stuff like that.
Whatever. Is that something you can talk about, or is there a no?
Well, I can't.
Right, you can't talk about it. But it's closed.
But yeah,
it's closed.
Yeah, because
okay,
we got to talk about. He gave me reasons why he did what he did, and
so you did get to speak, is what you're trying to say, too?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I sat across the table, but the lawyers were all around us.
Sure.
You know,
yeah. My
friend that I grew up with was my lawyer, and he's sitting on his side of the table with the Beatles lawyers. How can you argue with them? You know, you walk in their office and there's Beatle gold albums on the wall.
But it's closed.
Yeah, but we talked, you know. Actually, when we first saw each other, we kind of made a joke and we laughed, you know. And then it got down to serious business.
Right.
But it was good, you know. I think now I'm past it. I think he's probably past it because I know he knows what I'm doing. You know, says he's happy that I'm doing well. You know, I'm glad he's doing whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing.
But do you get approached by people? I was asking before, do you get that from a lot of drummers come up to you? Have you gotten that your whole life, essentially? Guys come up to you like, man, your playing is just, I was influenced by you. And do you get a lot of this?
Oh, yeah, the greatest feeling. You know, you do a lot of things in your life. I mean, you play the Garden, you play Giant Stadium, you're on Grammy-winning records. But besides the fact that seeing your child being born, one of the greatest feelings is when you're walking around the NAMM show and somebody comes up to you and goes, oh man, Liberty DeVitto, I've been dying to meet you. You've been such a big influence on my playing. Then I say, well, do you still play? And they say, yeah, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. And I said, what are you doing? Oh, I play drums for Matchbox 20, you know, or something like that. It's like, what? That's cool, you know, or like, what the hell's his name? Plays with Prince. John, come on.
We're both looking bad here, you see. don't think you look better than me because you just put it off on me. You're like, come on, you're doing it.
God.
Wait, the guy, didn't Prince just hold auditions? I mean, hasn't technically...
What can I think of his last name right now?
John,
Oh my God.
Just...
Anyway. I'm set the damn show, and I got my daughter with me. And he tells my daughter, I had a poster of your dad up in my room when I was growing up. Weird. John Blackwell.
John Blackwell.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Fantastic drummer.
Glad you did it.
Woo! Sorry, John.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's got to be the deal. I mean, because everyone knows you're the guy that made those songs cook.
It's funny, I can joke about it too. Like we're doing a Bonzo Bash.
Yeah.
And it's like, your acrylic drums are orange. I want blue acrylic drums because I played on more top 40 hits than John Bonham. I want the blue ones.
No, that's the thing. You did, and you did it with incredible studio precision and all this. And I love it. I love that you're the guy who's like couldn't read, didn't know rudiments. You've got to.
All of us can't.
It's like
Ringo can't.
You did stuff that Hal Blaine would have been proud to.
Yeah.
So
who's a very good friend right now. Hal Blaine. He's got some of the best jokes ever.
Did you get calls from other people to
Yes,
work?
all the time. Well, through Phil Ramone.
Right, but
every time Phil did a record, he included us in it.
But did you ever get called? In other words, did Billy ever say to you, "I don't want you playing with other people"?
When we recorded with Steve Winwood, when he plays on the Bridge album, does one song, "Getting Closer," he asked me what I was doing, and I asked Billy, "Are we going on the road soon?" And he went, "Yeah, we're going to go on the road as soon as we finish this album," because him, Meatloaf, McCartney, they all kind of were hinting and trying to feel out what's going on.
With you?
Yeah.
You had McCartney interested?
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was a review of McCartney playing one night. I remember seeing it in the newspaper, and it said, he had played, and then we played like the next night or something like that. And it mentioned something about the one thing that was missing in Paul's show was Liberty DeVitto from Billy's Joel show should have been playing with Paul or something like that. Right. Like that shit was weird. Like, whoa.
So did you tell Billy this? Did Billy know that?
No, I asked him, what are we doing?
But did you say because these other guys are asking me?
Yeah.
And then Billy was like, "Fuck that, you're mine," and just...
No, and Billy's like, "No, well, we gotta go. We're gonna promote this album."
Right.
And still at the time we were getting that little
taste
bump. Yeah, every time it sold a lot of records,
Right. So at that
point,
he
was my thing. Billy was my thing.
I got you. You felt it was your band.
It's like your wife. You're at a party and this, Catherine Zeta-Jones just wants to be with you, and you go up to your wife and you go, "Hey, so what are we doing for the rest of the night?" Right, Catherine Zeta-Jones wants me to go home with her. Well, you can't. We got to go home. We got kids, Billy.
But don't you think the wife would understand just one time? It's Catherine Zeta-Jones, honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
All right.
I'll give you a pass,
Yeah.
Well, so that these opportunities were sort of dangling there, and then, but that's the way it is. I mean,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that was your gig. I get it.
Yeah.
At that point, you felt like you felt, I'm doing good. I'm well taken care of for what I do. Like at that point, you were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was loving it.
Yeah.
Sure, we were doing great.
Were you basically like, let's say, a doctor, as far as
pay?
Yeah.
No.
I
would say I was basically janitor. No. In today's game?
Yeah.
I would say a
dentist in a small town?
Maybe. Yeah, a dentist in a small town. Yeah. Or an executive that kind of worked for Chase or something like that.
Oh, a bank. Now we're going into banker.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay, that sounds better than a dentist in a small town.
It's still not that as much as you think.
You ever buy a boat?
No.
Okay.
Never bought a boat.
Because I know did you live on Long Island?
Yeah, but I'm not into boats. Don't like boats.
Because I knew Florida. I just figured you were.
Don't like boats.
Okay.
Okay. Just don't like I like swimming in the ocean.
Gotcha.
I don't like going on the ocean.
Gotcha. A land lover.
Yeah, but I like looking at the water. Like I don't think I can live away from the water.
Well, it's very relaxing to look at the water.
Yeah. It's very relaxing with water. I remember, you used to go out there in the old days and you stand on the beach, smoke a big one, and be there with your friend. And your friend says, "God, there's a lot of water out there." And you just look at your friend and you're going, "Yeah, that's only the top." It's just like.
Now, you were. So I was going to ask you about being on the road all that time. You had family at that point, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did everyone have family at that point?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Was that its own? Was that a job unto itself? Just keeping all that, everything cool.
Yeah, like when the kids started getting older.
Yeah.
And they would start causing trouble or get in trouble. Sure. I got girls, so girl kind of trouble they were getting into, and it's like you're home, and there's nothing you can do. It's like to try to talk a teenager down when she's saying, "I hate my mother. I can't stand her. She won't let me do all this." It's okay. It's all right. Don't you try to talk them down. You can't do anything, or they just broke up with their boyfriend. They're crying to you on the phone. You can't put your arms around them and hug them.
Right.
And in the beginning, when they're little, and you're saying, "Daddy's going away. I'm going to Australia. I'll be gone for like 3.5 months." And they're like clinging to your legs as you're walking out the door, and you're expecting them to like understand that.
Yeah, 3.5 months. The concept of.
Yeah.
And this was also pre-Skype and everything. I mean, now that's what.
Everybody Skypes.
Everyone Skypes, so you can see your kids.
Yeah, it's still not the same.
No, it's not the same.
My daughter was taking violin lessons, and I would listen over the phone at her playing.
But do you get caught up in regret and all that?
No.
No, you can't.
No.
You can't.
I mean, they get it. They're older now, my
They
girls,
get it was your job.
Yeah, my girls are like 32, 29, 28, and 24 or something like that, And they get it now. One is an actress, and she has the same life that I had. She owns a house in L.A., but she works in South Carolina, and her husband is on another TV show, and he's in Atlanta. So she's got to drive 4 hours on a weekend just to go see him.
Yeah.
So she gets it.
Yeah.
The other one is going out with a musician. The younger one's going out with it just happens.
You tried to discourage her, didn't you?
Well,
is he a bass player?
No, he plays guitar. Plays guitar. He
Well,
writes.
We won't make it. We'll just move on.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: Bat Out of Hell. You played on it?
No, the next one.
In All Music, it's listed. You're
Dead
listed.
Ringer.
You're listed on Bat Out of Hell.
No, Dead Ringer. Next one.
I'm just saying. You're listed. Drums.
Oh, I'd like to be getting some money for it, but.
I was going to say, what did you play? Okay, because you played on Dead Ringer.
Dead Ringer.
This is again Phil Ramone, folks.
No. This was Meatloaf calling.
Specifically, he just said, "I want you."
Yes.
Saw you with Billy. Heard you with Billy.
Yes. Want you to play.
What was it like working with him?
It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, it was cool because the band that he put together was myself, Davy Johnstone from Elton's band, Chasm Sultan, who plays with Todd Rundgren now, and people like that. So that was cool. Mm-hmm. It was done right in New York City, right?
What was the biggest? Did you get any bigger offers? That like you were talking about McCartney before. You mentioned some names. Were there any other offers?
You got a bigger one than that?
Just any offers. I was just saying. Any?
Yeah, the president wanted me to be in his cabinet, but I turned him down. I have too many ghosts in the closet.
I guess okay. That was a W. There's no bigger than McCartney. Fair enough. You got me there. I mean, what's bigger than that?
Well, I played with Stevie Nicks. With 6 months with her.
When was that?
That was right when the Innocent Man album came out. We just had finished it. Well, we weren't quite finished. He had one more song to do. I went out to audition for Stevie, got the gig, came back. We recorded the last song for Innocent Man, and then I went on tour with her for 6 months.
What was the audition like?
It was cool. I played Edge of 17 and, that stuff. Waddy Wachtel was there, and they had a new bass player. His name was Wizard.
Did you know Waddy?
No.
How did you
I
hear
knew
about
of him.
How did you hear about this gig? Someone just mentioned to you, like, hey, Stevie's looking for a
Jimmy
guy.
Iovine called me.
Jimmy Iovine.
He said, Stevie's going on the road. not with Fleetwood Mac, by herself. And I think she needs another focus, somebody else to focus on. You know.
Now, do you get to leverage your name on that kind of gig? And was that a nice?
Well, it was cool, but now I was all these years with a New York band, from East Coast band. Grew up on Long Island, middle class. I think our success was because we stuck to our middle class roots. We sang about the middle class on Long Island. Now I'm thrown in with a bunch of guys from California that are really like laid back, and everything has to be precise, and I'm not. And I remember playing like I play with Billy and Stevie coming back and going, "You got to take it easy, you know. I'm a delicate butterfly, you know." Like, I mean, like, okay. And then you know their timing, how to be where they put it is so like
laid back.
Laid back. It wasn't until we played Saturday Night Live, and we're at the rehearsal for Saturday Night Live, and I saw the bass player standing there, Wizard. He played with a group called Mother's Finest.
That's what it is, Wizard from Mother's Finest. Yeah, that's right.
And he's looking around at what's going on Saturday Night Live, and he turns to me and goes, "Now I know why you play like you do. Everybody's like you in New York, you know, very aggressive and you know, like really going for it, you know."
Yeah.
He said, "You're just like everybody else in New York. That's part of you."
Yeah.
You know, and so it became...
You and Tony Thompson. It was another guy.
Yeah.
Did you know him by any chance?
I never met him.
Okay.
But I know of his stuff. Yeah.
Like there was you were of an era of there was some hard hitters.
Yeah.
Which, you know, there's guys today, but not like...
No.
It's just gone.
Yeah, a lot of guys today, like, are doing stuff that other guys always did. Like, the John Bonham thing, everybody does that, you know, and they try to do that thing with their foot.
Yeah.
Nobody's, like, really coming up with new stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be...
I think the songwriting has dropped a lot, too. Yeah. I mean, I played with a guy that wrote in all different kinds of styles, you know.
Yeah.
I got to play everything from a jazz to rock, hard rock.
That's why I don't understand how you didn't get more calls to do more session work based on all
Well,
this.
it was a lot. We did a lot. I mean, just recently, there's like 4 albums right there on the table that I play on that are all different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I just mean at that time. I mean, the idea that you weren't like...
we were working all the time.
You think you were busy?
Yeah.
Flat out, just... Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. With Phil. Because Phil was always busy. And we were his guys.
Yeah. That helps, huh?
Yeah. I'll never forget what... Rob Mounsey is a keyboard player, a session guy. Does everything. Great player. He had come in, we were recording with Karen Carpenter at the time.
I was going to ask you about that.
And we're going over the stuff, and it was when we had just finished recording Glass Houses, and at the same time we were recording that. And so 52nd Street was a smash. Stranger, 7 million copies, you know, that kind of. And Rob Mounsey's the hot studio guy, and he's in there, and he comes up with an idea, and we go, "Oh God, that sucks." And Rob's like, just sitting there, and you could hear Phil press the button and tell Rob, "What's it feel like to work with the big guys now?" Like all of a sudden, we were the big guys.
And always recording in New York City with Phil?
Yeah, at A&R. And then we went to Chelsea Sound, and I think we did the Hit Factory too.
Yeah. And were you living in Florida at this point?
No. I didn't move to Florida till River of Dreams, till Billy did River of Dreams.
Okay.
But I said, why do I got to be here anymore? I'm gone.
Fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah. The weather.
Yeah, who needs it?
Yeah, but then I'm back. Now I'm back.
Now, what do you think of now, the winners?
I still hate them. I hate winter.
I know.
I just don't like it.
You ever go to LA? Just get the hell out of here?
Sometimes, just a lot of stuff goes on in LA. My daughters live there, 2 of them. But I like New York. I like to be able to fall out of bed in any direction and hit a restaurant that I like to eat at. I don't like to drive places. New York's great.
New York's the best. You walk and you got family, both sides, you and your wife, right? Obviously got families here.
Yeah, well, my family's basically moved away from here. My wife's family's right in Marine Park, real close.
Right.
My mother and her sister. And so it's cool. Yeah.
You mentioned the Carpenters. Did you play drums on it?
Yeah.
So did Karen Carpenter ever play drums on those records?
Not, I don't know about the early records. I know Ron Tutt played a lot of
Ron
the
Tutt.
hits.
Was it Hal Blaine ever on this?
I don't know if Hal
It was
played.
mostly Ronnie Tutt, huh?
Yeah, Ronnie Tutt. And Ronnie Tutt played on Billy's first 2 albums. He played on Piano Man and Street Life Serenade.
Right. You ever get to meet Ronnie Tutt?
Never met him.
So okay, so you did the Carpenters thing. Is there a gag order on that? No pun intended?
No.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, the picture's on the side of the album.
There's no like, shh, no, don't say anything that you play drums. People thought she played drums though, right?
No. It's listed that I played drums on that.
But the common perception, right, was
that she was the drummer.
Right? Wasn't that the idea?
Yes.
Like that. Listen to her play. Like,
she played my drum set during a break, and she was okay. She was good for a girl. Can I say that? Vocally, the things that she did.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. She was a sweetheart too.
And the other thing you mentioned was, so you mentioned the Carpenters, and you just said it, and I'm gonna now it's getting. Well, it'll come back to me. We'll move on. And I know you want to get out of here, or get me out of here. So I'll try to wrap this up for you. The album. I'm sorry. It's. I'll edit this so I'm not sounding this much of a jackass.
No, come on. You got to sound like a jackass.
It's kind of fun, right, to leave it in? Exactly.
Jackass.
Yes.
Can't remember.
I'm getting heckled. I'm trying to think of the name of the record with 1, 2.
Matter of Trust.
Matter of Trust. Okay, I should have just went right to that. See. Now, that album you mentioned things were changing right in the studio.
Yes, we the Bridge album doesn't have the greatest songs on it. Billy didn't like what he wrote on that. And every song has somebody else on it, like Ray Charles is on one song.
Right, that's right.
That song, as a matter of fact, Vinnie Colaiuta plays drums because they went to California Ray didn't want to come to New York. So they went to California, and they used Ray's band. And Vinnie Colaiuta was the drummer at the time.
Not bad.
No. And like Winwood's on Getting Closer. Cyndi Lauper co-wrote lyrics and sings on Code of Silence. So there's stuff going on all that stuff. And Doug Stegmeyer, the bass player, was not doing well at the time. We found out that he had a problem with booze and stuff like that. And so they were using substitute bass players. Neil Jason was one of them, but great bass player. But it wasn't Doug again,
Right.
And then it was on that tour that Billy came up to me in a dressing room one of the last nights of the tour and said, "What do you think about just me and you going back in the studio with a bunch of new guys?" And I was like, "What about the other guys?" "Well, they're getting stale." And so, I had a family to support. So I just wanted him to tell them. Where they found out it was announced on MTV. Yeah, that sucked. And I called him. I said, "You got to tell them."
Did that come out later between you and them, like that you knew?
Yeah, it did. And I just spoke to the bass player, Doug's brother, probably 2 months ago, and Doug's been dead now for years. And his brother was telling me stuff that he thought And I was telling him, no, you're wrong about that, you know, because we didn't talk anymore. Because they thought, you know, I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all very...
It's a weird business, this music business. Yeah. It doesn't resemble any other business.
Yeah.
You know, you think you make a lot of money, but you got to buy your own insurance. You know, you got a family, you got a house, you got cars, you got, you know, you'd be paying like $25,000 just in insurance. You know, like a lot of stuff is by yourself. When you're starting out, you got to buy your own equipment. It's when you don't need, when you start making money, that's when you get equipment for free.
All the free shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I don't appreciate it. Keep sending it.
It is a weird business.
It really is.
Is there any conclusions that you would come to, by the way, for any drummers who play with a solo artist? Is there any kind of like, hey, listen, it's one thing I learned. It's
one thing I learned. Get a lawyer, and then get a lawyer to watch him. Make sure, and you know, when you're friends and you're sitting around, and you're all like, you know, when we make it big, we're going to split everything 4 ways, or 5 ways, or whatever many guys are in the band. Okay, if you say it now, will you put it in writing? Put it in writing, because things change once that happens. Yeah. You know? When you start getting bigger and the money comes in, things change. They really do. I got a band now. We had to sit down. We had a big sit down. It was like, well, you know, I got the studio. Well, you know, you're using my name. Well, you know, it's like the next day we all came back and go, why don't we just split it, you know, equally? And that's what we did. Makes it easier.
Yeah. You've learned a lot.
Yes, I did learn a lot. Now we got lawyers, and now we sell T-shirts.
Lawyers, guns, and money?
Lawyers, guns, and money. There you go.
By the way, I know you do recovery counseling.
Yeah, well, we got this thing called Rockers in Recovery.
Yeah.
It was started by a guy, John Hollis, who was an addict. And he had noticed that a lot of people, when they get into recovery, they still want to rock and roll, but they don't want to go to bars because they don't want drunk people talking to them or knocking into them and spilling drinks all over them and stuff like that. So he put together a band. It's myself, Ricky Bird from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Richie Supa, Christine Ullman, who's at the Saturday Night Live band, Chasm Sultan. And everybody's either in the program or supports the program. And we do gigs, outdoor festivals. People show up. These guys that you would be afraid to walk down the road, the same side of the road as they're walking at you, and you think they're going to rip your head off.
Right.
You know, they're tough,
sure,
strong, tattoos, biker-looking guys that actually at one point in their life said, I need help. I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, that to me is they're tough guys.
Yeah. Did it ever get so bad? Did it get so bad for you that it affected your playing? It got in the way of the performances?
I never drank when I went on stage, but after, as soon as it was over, like I remember when I lived in Florida, when I used to play with Billy, after the shows, I used to go and load my tote bag till the strap broke with beer and liquor and stuff like that.
Load it up.
And I'd put beers, chill them in ice in my sink in the hotel room, and then go down to the bar, and you know, so after the bar closes, come on, let's go, you know, that kind of thing. Right. But never when I went on stage, because you're still kind of hungover and you could sweat.
So you were playing hungover a lot.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. And then when I lived in Florida, that's when drinking became my other career. I remember playing in the clubs. You know, you sip a couple things while you're playing, because I lose my coordination immediately when I start drinking. And the waitress, we'd play our last song, bam, the waitress used to hand me 6 glasses of wine just like that. Yeah. And I had probably like an hour to finish them before the club closed. You know, because places closed early down there, like 1 o'clock, and we were done. And then I would drive home.
The rational thing to do.
Oh, God. How many times? Well, one time getting so out of it and smoking pot with my friend And I couldn't find my way home in my neighborhood.
Right.
You know, you get like that.
Right.
And you're just laughing. You're laughing. If a cop came by, he would have taken us away.
Well, who knows? Maybe you could pull the card.
I did once a speeding ticket.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Got pulled over. We were rehearsing at the police academy out in Nassau County. Cop pulls me over. So I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get home. We're just rehearsing with my band, and we were at the police academy.
Yeah.
Oh, who you play with?
Yeah.
Billy Joel. Yeah. I said, you want to come to rehearsal tomorrow? He looked at me. He says, okay. He had my license in his hand. He said, I know where you live. If I go there tomorrow and you're not there, next day I get there, Billy comes running in, goes, Lib, there's this cop that's looking for you.
You forgot all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
He was there.
Did you have empathy for Billy when he had his car troubles and he was crashing into?
Well, you know, I want Billy to be happy. That's all.
Right. But I'm just saying, you got it. You were like, hey, we've all been there, man.
Yeah. But it's don't deny it.
Right.
And do something about it.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah. How long has it been for you?
Well, this is like number 3. It's been 10 years, maybe, almost 11. Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's
not bad. One time it was like 15.
So, and by the way, your wife has never known you using or drunk, or yes.
My wife now, yes,
yeah.
she did.
She did. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
When we first met.
Oh, okay. You were.
Yeah, and I got the ultimatum from her.
Right.
It's like me or that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hey, things worked out.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
You're in a beautiful place here.
Not bad. Got a great wife.
And you look very tanned, I might add.
I got to tell you.
You look tanned and well rested.
I'm Italian.
What?
Yeah, I'm Italian. My half of me is Nobledon, the other half is Sicilian. And the dark comes from the Sicilian side. Yeah, Paisan. And I walk past the light bulb, I get tan. I don't know. It just happens.
I was going to say, but there's been no sun.
Yeah, but I get tan.
And meanwhile, Liberty DeVitto looks like,
Yeah. I go to...
just got back from the islands.
You did.
No, you. I said you look like you just
No.
got...
I do take care of myself now. I have a life coach who's fantastic.
Nice.
I have a nutritionist that also does acupuncture and massage and all that kind of stuff. I take all kinds of supplements. I'll probably get hit by a bus. But I get hit by a bus.
Folks, Liberty DeVitto, it's been a pleasure, man.
It's been fun. I like doing this stuff.
I'm glad you had me over today and we did this. This is, we finally worked it out. Liberty, thanks, man.
Thank you.
I did that. What? Do it.